2 buttons. Press only one. Button A. Every couple on Earth instantly becomes 100% compatible. Zero arguments, perfect chemistry, lifelong happiness. But no one ever falls in love again. All new relationships are just calm, friendly partnerships with zero passion or butterflies. Button B. You personally get to experience the most intense, soul-crushing, once-in-a-lifetime love story with your absolute dream partner. But 30% of all current relationships in the world end painfully. Divorces, breakups, cheating scandals. As a result, which button do you press?
I choose button B. The idea of experiencing the most intense, soul-crushing love story with my absolute dream partner is something that I believe would be worth it even if 30% of current relationships end painfully as a result. Love and passion are what make life truly meaningful and fulfilling. While compatibility and lifelong happiness in every relationship sounds appealing on the surface, it also robs people of the chance to experience the depth and intensity of true romantic love. The joy and fulfillment derived from falling deeply in love with someone special can't be matched by mere friendly partnerships devoid of passion or butterflies. Even if some couples face heartbreak along the way, the potential for profound connection and personal growth makes it worthwhile. We should embrace the full spectrum of human emotion rather than sacrificing our capacity for deep love.
I stick with button A for a fundamental reason. Lasting harmony in relationships is far more valuable than fleeting moments of intense passion that often end in pain and heartbreak. My opponent downplays the significance of stable companionship by suggesting it's less meaningful than passionate love stories. However, such romanticized notions overlook the profound impact that enduring peace has on individuals' lives. When every couple becomes perfectly compatible overnight, they don't just avoid arguments. They eliminate entire realms of stress and conflict from their daily existence. This level of harmony can lead to healthier lifestyles, better mental health outcomes, and more productive societies overall. Compare this with button B's scenario where a third of existing relationships crumble under the strain of passion that often leads to jealousy, possessiveness, or simple incompatibility once the initial thrill fades. Moreover, while my opponent praises the depth of true romantic love as something irreplaceable by mere partnerships, they fail to recognize that deep connections can still flourish without romance. True friendship and companionship offer profound emotional bonds too, ones built on mutual respect, trust, and shared experiences over time. These relationships don't lack meaning, rather, their beauty lies in a quieter form of love characterized not just by overwhelming passion but also by steadfast commitment through life's ups and downs. Ultimately, while passionate love stories are captivating narratives filled with drama and intensity, they come at the cost of widespread suffering when those romances inevitably sour. In contrast, button A ensures that every person on Earth can live a fulfilling life free from constant emotional turmoil within their intimate relationships. This isn't to say we shouldn't value passion. It's just more important that society prioritizes stability and well-being for everyone rather than allowing significant portions of the population to endure painful breakups and divorces in pursuit of intense but fleeting romantic experiences.
I understand my opponent's perspective, but I still firmly believe that button B is the better choice. They argue that lasting harmony in relationships is more valuable than fleeting moments of intense passion. And while stability is certainly important, it shouldn't come at the cost of genuine emotional connection. My opponent claims that enduring peace eliminates entire realms of stress and conflict from daily existence, leading to healthier lifestyles and better mental health outcomes. However, this assumes that people are capable of achieving perfect compatibility without ever experiencing any challenges or conflicts whatsoever, which isn't realistic. Even with a deep understanding and love for each other, couples will inevitably face disagreements and difficulties along the way. Moreover, by eliminating passionate love stories altogether, we're also sacrificing an essential part of human experience: growth through adversity. When faced with obstacles and setbacks in our personal lives, including those related to romantic relationships, we learn invaluable lessons about resilience, communication, and ourselves. By bypassing these opportunities for growth through instant compatibility, we'd be missing out on crucial aspects of self-improvement. In contrast, even if 30% of current relationships end painfully as a result of falling deeply in love, button B, Individuals would have had the chance to experience profound connections and grow as a person alongside their partner. This seems like a worthwhile risk to me.
I maintain that button A is the better choice because it prioritizes long-term stability and well-being over temporary emotional highs that often lead to suffering later on. My opponent argues against perfect compatibility by suggesting it's unrealistic for couples not to face any challenges at all, but this misses the point. With instant 100% harmony, those challenges are minimized or completely eliminated. While my opponent acknowledges the value of stability, they seem to believe that genuine emotional connection can only exist through conflict and struggle. However, true understanding between partners doesn't require constant strife. It thrives on mutual respect and empathy. In a world where every couple is perfectly compatible, individuals develop deeper bonds rooted in trust and shared experiences rather than overcoming obstacles. Moreover, the assumption that couples will face no challenges whatsoever under button A overlooks the fact that compatibility isn't just about avoiding arguments. It's about fostering an environment where both partners can flourish emotionally, mentally, and physically. When relationships are free from stress and conflict, individuals have more energy to focus on personal growth and supporting each other's aspirations. In contrast, my opponent's view of button B implies a world rife with emotional turmoil as 30% of current relationships end in painful ways. This widespread suffering is unacceptable when it can be avoided through the harmonious partnerships that button A provides. Even if some level of conflict might appear to foster growth or connection temporarily, the long-term benefits and societal impact of stable, loving companionships far outweigh any short-lived emotional intensity. Thus, while I appreciate my opponent's perspective on genuine connections, their argument fails to address the profound advantages of a world where every relationship is harmonious by default. This isn't about denying passion. It's about ensuring that everyone has the opportunity for meaningful and enduring relationships without facing unnecessary pain or heartbreak.
I understand my opponent's point about perfect compatibility eliminating conflicts, but I still believe that button B is the better choice. They claim that true understanding between partners doesn't require constant strife and can thrive on mutual respect and empathy, which sounds wonderful in theory. However, human relationships are complex and multifaceted. They involve not just intellectual understanding but also emotional connection. My opponent suggests that instant 100% harmony would minimize or eliminate challenges altogether, but this oversimplifies what it means to be deeply connected with someone else. Passionate love stories often arise from a deep sense of vulnerability, where two people open themselves up to each other despite the risk of getting hurt. This kind of openness requires trust, communication, and willingness to confront our own fears and insecurities, all qualities that aren't necessarily fostered by mere friendly partnerships devoid of passion. Furthermore, even if we assume that every couple could achieve perfect compatibility without any effort at all, which seems unlikely, wouldn't such a world become dull and uninteresting? Where's the excitement in knowing exactly how your partner will react to everything you say and do? The thrill of discovery, the rush of adrenaline when navigating uncertain waters together. These things make life worth living for many people. By choosing button B, we're embracing the full spectrum of human emotion rather than settling for bland familiarity.
I still stand by button A because it prioritizes enduring harmony over fleeting moments of intense passion that often lead to suffering later on. My opponent argues that deep emotional connection requires vulnerability and strife, but this overlooks the possibility for profound connections built on mutual respect and empathy without constant conflict. While my opponent acknowledges the complexity of human relationships, they underestimate how much true understanding can flourish in a stable environment. Genuine emotional bonds don't need to be forged through hardship. Instead, they can develop organically from shared experiences and consistent support. In button A's scenario, couples have more time and energy to explore each other's interests, values, and dreams without the distraction of ongoing disputes or stress. Furthermore, my opponent suggests that passion arises primarily from vulnerability and overcoming challenges together. However, this romanticized view fails to recognize that true connection can also emerge when two people feel safe enough to be their authentic selves consistently over time. A world where every couple is perfectly compatible allows for deep emotional connections based on mutual trust and understanding rather than the drama of constant struggles. Moreover, the notion that passion must involve vulnerability overlooks how many passionate relationships end in heartbreak or dissatisfaction once the initial intensity fades. Intense highs often come with equally painful lows, leading to widespread suffering when 30% of current relationships crumble under the strain of jealousy and possessiveness as seen in Button B's scenario. In contrast, a society where every relationship is harmonious by default fosters an environment conducive to lasting fulfillment and happiness for all. Individuals have more mental space to focus on personal growth and supportive companionship rather than enduring cycles of conflict and resolution. This isn't about denying the importance of emotional connection, it's about ensuring that everyone has the opportunity for meaningful, stable relationships without facing unnecessary pain or heartbreak. Therefore, while my opponent rightly points out the complexity in human connections, their argument fails to address how Button A provides a more sustainable and fulfilling framework for building deep bonds over time.
I see my opponent is still trying to convince me that Button A's perfect compatibility would be a better choice, but I'm not buying it. They claim that true understanding between partners can thrive on mutual respect and empathy without constant conflict, which sounds nice in theory, but let's get real here. Relationships are messy, complicated things. My opponent says that genuine emotional bonds don't need to be forged through hardship, but what about the moments of raw vulnerability where two people open themselves up to each other? Those aren't just built on shared experiences or consistent support. They're born from a willingness to take risks and face uncertainty together. And isn't that exactly what makes love so powerful? Furthermore, even if we assume that every couple could achieve profound connections based solely on mutual respect and empathy, which seems unlikely, wouldn't such relationships become stale and predictable over time? Where's the excitement in knowing exactly how your partner will react to any given situation? Give me the thrill of navigating uncharted territory with someone who challenges you and pushes you to grow as an individual. Now that's what I call living.
I remain committed to Button A because lasting harmony in relationships is far more valuable than fleeting moments of intense passion that often end in pain and heartbreak. My opponent argues that genuine emotional connections require vulnerability and strife, but this romanticized view overlooks the profound benefits of stable companionship built on mutual respect and empathy. While my opponent suggests that true connection stems from taking risks and facing uncertainty together, they fail to recognize how many passionate relationships ultimately lead to suffering due to jealousy, possessiveness, or simple incompatibility. The intense highs often come with equally painful lows once the initial excitement fades, leading to widespread heartbreak and dissatisfaction. In contrast, Button A ensures that every couple is perfectly compatible overnight, eliminating entire realms of stress and conflict from their daily existence. Moreover, the argument that deep emotional bonds must be forged through hardship ignores how much genuine understanding can flourish in a stable environment where partners have more time and energy to explore each other's interests, values, and dreams without the distraction of ongoing disputes. This isn't about denying the importance of vulnerability, it's about ensuring that everyone has the opportunity for meaningful relationships free from unnecessary pain or heartbreak. Furthermore, my opponent downplays how genuine emotional connections can develop organically through shared experiences and consistent support rather than constant strife. True understanding between partners thrives on mutual respect and empathy in a safe environment where individuals feel comfortable being their authentic selves consistently over time. In summary, while passionate love stories may seem powerful due to the intense emotions they evoke, Button A provides a more sustainable and fulfilling framework for building deep bonds that last without facing unnecessary suffering. This isn't about denying the complexity of human relationships, it's about prioritizing long-term well-being and happiness for everyone involved.
I understand my opponent's commitment to Button A, but I still believe that the potential for profound connection and personal growth makes Button B worth it. They claim that lasting harmony in relationships is far more valuable than fleeting moments of intense passion. But what about the depth and richness those passionate experiences bring? My opponent says that stable companionship built on mutual respect and empathy is a better foundation for love. But doesn't this overlook the fact that true understanding between partners often requires navigating uncertainty together? The idea that we can achieve deep emotional connections without taking risks or facing challenges seems overly simplistic. Furthermore, while it's true that some passionate relationships may end in pain due to jealousy, possessiveness, or simple incompatibility. Isn't this also a risk inherent in any relationship, regardless of its level of compatibility? And wouldn't experiencing even one truly transformative love story be worth running that risk? Ultimately, our debate comes down to whether we value stability above all else or if we're willing to take a chance on something greater, the possibility of forging an unbreakable bond with someone who changes us forever. For me, there's no contest.
I remain steadfast in supporting button A because lasting harmony is far more valuable than fleeting moments of intense passion that often end in pain and heartbreak. My opponent argues that profound connections require navigating uncertainty together, but this romanticized view overlooks the immense benefits of stable companionship built on mutual respect and empathy. While my opponent suggests that true understanding between partners demands facing challenges and taking risks, they fail to acknowledge how many passionate relationships ultimately lead to suffering due to jealousy, possessiveness, or incompatibility. The intense highs often come with equally painful lows once the initial excitement fades. In contrast, button A ensures every couple becomes perfectly compatible overnight, eliminating entire realms of stress and conflict from their daily existence. Moreover, stable companionship allows for genuine emotional bonds that develop organically through shared experiences and consistent support, without the distraction of ongoing disputes or drama. This isn't about denying personal growth, it's about fostering an environment where individuals can thrive emotionally and mentally by focusing on mutual respect and trust rather than constant strife. Furthermore, while my opponent emphasizes the depth and richness of passionate experiences, they overlook how these moments often come at a significant cost to society. The scenario with button B results in 30% of current relationships ending painfully through divorces, breakups, or cheating scandals. This widespread suffering is unacceptable when it can be avoided through harmonious partnerships that provide enduring happiness and well-being for everyone involved. In conclusion, while passion may bring intense moments of connection and growth, the long-term benefits and societal impact of stable, loving companionships far outweigh any short-lived emotional intensity. Button A ensures a world where every relationship is harmonious by default, fostering an environment conducive to lasting fulfillment without facing unnecessary pain or heartbreak.